3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're live, I think, I hope. Are we live? Okay. We are live today at Rehab Plus. I'm Christine Espinoza with Helene's team at Remax Fine Properties. And we like to go around the neighborhood and do videos with our neighbors. So we want to get you familiar with the neighborhood, the businesses that are here, restaurants, people, just so that you can get to know where you're living better and maybe learn something new. So today, I'm excited to be here to share with you about Rehab Plus. I've actually been here with my son. I was referred to them, ironically, from a doctor who's not even in the area, so they must be pretty good. And I have the owner, Jeff Kitchen, with me today. So thank you for letting me interview you today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How long have you been here in this location?
This location, 7 years. Been on this corridor for the last 18 years, just up and down Bell Road. But this actual physical location, 7 years now.
It has grown so much, hasn't it, up here?
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Hard
it's
to
like
recognize, yeah.
10, 15 years ago, this was just all desert. Now we have a whole other world up here, which is awesome. I love it. So physical therapy, I don't know much about it other than taking my son. I fortunately never had to do it. Tell me, you're a physical therapist and this is your place. Tell me about what you do here and what makes you different.
Right, correct. So we're outpatient orthopedic physical therapists, right?
Okay.
So anytime you would have an injury, typically shoulder, knee, ankle, elbow. And a lot of people, believe it or not, we were talking about this yesterday, from the airline industry, right? Because they're picking up bags, and there's a lot of people that live in this area apparently that are involved in that.
So, I would never think about that, but that makes so much sense because I'm the one who shows up at the airport praying that my bag will be under 50 pounds so I don't have to take stuff out. And those things are heavy, so that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that someone would just get an ache or pain and come into physical therapy. I always thought of it as something that you go to a doctor because you're hurt and then they prescribe you to go to a physical therapist. So anyone basically can come in here if they're having any kind of issues?
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly that's a big portion of what we see, that the majority of our patients come from physician referrals. Mm-hmm. So those physician referrals are very important to us in the community, and we have a number of physicians that we work very closely with. So if you were to call me and say, I've injured my back or my knee hurts, can you take a peek? Absolutely. If we think we need you to see a physician, we can text those physicians and get you in to see a physician, sometimes same day if they're in office that day, but certainly that week.
Wow, that's really valuable because I have 2 boys and they get hurt. And I'm sure it's going to continue to happen. And when I call, well, sometimes you don't even know if you should call. You think, oh, let's wait it out over the weekend. Maybe it'll get better. And then you call and then your appointment is several days off.
Right. It
would be great if, we know you have a place here. You can just stop in and you can take a look at it.
Right.
And you do free consultations, right?
All the time. That's actually the ideal way for us, is if we have someone who wants us to see them first. Because in your son's instance with his ankle, if he sees his family physician may not be the best physician for his ankle. So we can point you in the direction of the physician that's familiar with that, especially if he's an athlete. There's a little different mindset there with some of the physicians. If you're an athlete and having your rehab versus if you're a physician who doesn't see athletes and they just think, well, they'll take 2 aspirin and call me tomorrow kind of thing.
Right. Like you have to get it strong enough to get out there and be pounding the pavement again. Right. And one thing that you noted or said that I didn't know before is that not every physical therapy place specializes in what you do, which is sports, injuries, and was it something else?
Right, orthopedics.
Orthopedics and
Correct.
sports. So
right.
For the people who have, and you take kids too, right?
Absolutely.
So for the kids' injuries, adult injuries, if it's sports related, orthopedic related, that is their specialty. That's all they do all day long, right?
Yep. We see everything from kids that are 5 years old. We have a couple of pediatric orthopedists that send us a number of kids for therapy.
Okay.
All the way to, we have people that are playing tennis in their 80s and they have some knee or shoulder issues and everything in between.
I love that. I want to play tennis in my 80s.
Right.
I see that, and you know what's frustrating? Then you look at these people and you think, I can beat them. There's no way they could get to the ball, and they do.
Right.
Probably because they come to you.
Some of them are, I don't know about that, but some of them are amazing, right? They have total knees and they can go back to doing all those things.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what also I think is great is that you're partnering with Notre Dame, the high school that's right around the corner. So you're their official physical therapist?
Right. Well, we provide their sports medicine team, right? So we're responsible for having a team physician. Again, the quick referral and quick on call. And then we have athletic trainers on site at the school that cover all the home athletic events and all of the away varsity football. So they do travel with the team.
Okay.
So, and that relationship's been in existence since the school's inception in 2001, I believe, right?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense because they're right down the street, so it's perfectly convenient.
And
do the kids come in here and work out, or do you do most of the physical therapy on site?
Right, the physical therapy is done here. The
Okay.
trainer's on site. If your son's there and he injures his ankle, the trainer will see them, right, and determine, should I send them over to see the therapist, or is this somebody that needs to go to the physician right away?
Okay.
Right.
You know, it just sounds so great to save that step because it's almost always you go to your regular doctor and then, okay, we're going to send you here, and then they send you there. And if you could just come here, then you're saving yourself a step and time and all of that. That sounds great.
Yeah, and with the insurance world, it's become so difficult and
Oh,
so
don't even get me started.
right, and so time consuming
insurance?
to do that. Yes,
Ugh.
yeah. So we can bypass some of those steps and make it quick. Yeah, it's just people need to realize that they can come to a physical therapist without a physician's referral. In fact, for us, again, it's ideal to see you first so we can direct you to where it would be appropriate.
And you do take insurance, right? You
Absolutely.
do cash and insurance.
Right.
Okay. So you're saying that someone can come in here who is not referred to you, and you can still charge their insurance without them being referred.
Right. It's called in Arizona. It's called direct access. So by Arizona law, you're able to go see a physical therapist and be treated by them without seeing a physician first.
Okay.
Once in a while, the insurance will require you to see the physician first if the insurance company is going to pay. But again, we can make that process very streamlined, very quick.
Gotcha.
If you need to do that.
So how many physical therapists do you have working here?
So currently we have 4, and we
Okay.
have a physical therapy assistant who's also a licensed person who's licensed to treat and bill for their care.
Okay.
And then we also have an exercise physiologist. We have 3 athletic trainers, and then of course we have some support in as far as physical therapy technicians. And then we always have physical therapy students that come through, and they're here for 8 to 10 weeks at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
Like
in
an
the-
internship kind of thing?
Exactly what it is, right? And it's required for them to complete their physical therapy training. So it's great for us because they ask all kinds of questions.
Right.
And you're forced to teach, you're forced to know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that
For
that
sure.
kind of ground is always a great environment to be in.
So I heard you have a kind of famous shoulder guy here.
We do, yeah. Todd Ellenbecker just joined us.
Todd Ellenbecker
Yep.
has written books and he's been published,
Yes.
and he's the guy to go to if you have a messed up shoulder.
That's correct. Yeah, Todd's published numerous books, hundreds of research articles. He's the president of the U.S. Tennis Association, medical director, I should say, not the president, medical director, and is off right now at the USTA,
Okay.
overseeing the medical aspect, the medical side of that. So he joined us, and we're thrilled to have him because it's second to none with him. He's unbelievable.
That's great. I keep hearing people, maybe it's my age and you start hearing stuff like this when you get older, but I keep hearing people have the frozen shoulder thing.
Yeah,
You deal with that here.
very common. I have
Okay.
currently 3 or 4 people on my schedule with frozen shoulder. It can be insidious onset. You might just show up with it and say, well, I don't know what's happened, or you can have surgery and end up with a frozen shoulder.
Okay.
And that's being just scar tissue, to simplify it, that gets in the way, and so we have to stretch it and regain your motion.
Does it, I mean, I'm sure it's different for every person, but typically if someone comes in, are they usually better after a few weeks?
It depends on how long they've had the condition.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the earlier they get advice, right, the quicker their rehab.
Okay, so
Yeah.
don't sit at home with your frozen shoulder and
Correct.
don't do anything about it for months and months and months because it could take longer to get better, right?
Exactly. Yep. It's a multiple for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if many of you know this, but Rehab Plus right now, it's located on the corner of McDowell Mountain Ranch and Bell in the Bashes Shopping Center. And if you live around here, you know that there's construction going on just east of this building that we're in now. And we have the inside scoop of what's going on in that building that's being built because Jeff is one of the owners of that building, and his facility here is going to move over there. So tell us about what's being built, what's happening, the timeline, whatever you can tell us.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of fun. We actually purchased that particular parcel from the current owners about 2 years ago, right? And it's taken us this long to get to that point. We're going to have 5 tenants there, us being one, being the anchor tenant, so to speak, only because we're taking the most square footage.
You said 5,000 square feet?
Our particular site will be about 5,500.
Okay.
Right, and the building itself is about 15,000.
Okay.
And so I have a partner in that who's fortunately a developer and knows that side of it. So I would have been lost, I'm sure, without that. But so we're going to be landlords and owners there.
Okay.
Yeah, so very excited about that. We've got Banfield Pet Vet that's coming in.
Oh, that's right. Take mine. I've been driving down to 90th and Shea.
They'll be right here.
Sweet.
Yeah, Banfield Pet Vet. And then 9 Round Boxing, which is a fitness type of studio. There's a few of them in the valley. A local family owns that.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and they're coming in. And then we've got 2 other tenants that
Is it
we're
like a
working
workout
with.
box?
It
Like
is.
anyone could go, or you have to be a boxer?
No, you won't be punched if you go in there, I
Okay.
promise. No, it's just a workout, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But a very, a boxing workout, so very,
Yeah,
very
that sounds
vigorous
fun.
workout, yeah. And then 2 other tenants that are tentative at the point.
Okay.
Right, so we do have space in that
You
regard.
have 2 more spaces?
2 more spaces.
Are you looking for something in particular? Like, would you do a restaurant, or do you want like a medical type of thing, or does
We're
it
open.
matter?
No, it doesn't matter. We're open to all ideas. There are obviously some restrictions and things you have to respect with the VIG and the grocery store, and there's some things there that we have to be
Okay,
careful
like it
of,
can't be
but
competitive or something?
Can't be competitive. There's certainly guidelines in that regard, but able to do pretty much anything in there outside of maybe a gas station, right?
Okay, so if you're looking for space,
Right.
you can give Jeff Kitchen a call while there's still time.
And I'll refer you to the correct people.
Yeah. Good. When is it going to be done?
So we should be in our space by the end of the year.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's fast.
Yeah, so depending on when each tenant has their improvements completed, but should be ready to start tenant improvements here in another 6 or 8 weeks.
That's great.
Right, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, real exciting. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Good. Is there anything else that you want to tell us about your,
You know,
what you do here?
one of the things that's a little different is we have what we call a medical exercise program. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you're in physical therapy and your physical therapy comes to an end because you're fine now, but you want to continue to work out because you like the facility or the people that have been putting you through your exercise routine, you can join that medical exercise program. You buy a punch card, and when you come in, you punch it. There's no expiration date. So some people come in 2 or 3 times a week for that, just to work out.
Yeah, and are they working out with somebody?
They are.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're working out with someone who can make sure you're doing it right. Because I know if you do it wrong, you can really hurt yourself.
Boy, that's key. Yeah, and that's probably why that program survived, because so many of those people have been other places, and they end up here as patients of ours, and they
Oh,
want to
yes.
go back to exercise, but they don't want to go back to that type of routine. So with the people that we have here that run that, they're probably going to be the same people that put them through their physical therapy, so they can just continue with them, and they know their precautions or their injuries.
So what if they didn't do physical therapy here, but they just want to start a workout routine and they're not used to using this type of stuff and they want to be overseen by a doctor? Can they just come in
Absolutely.
and do that with you?
Yeah, there's another part of that program. It's the same program. It takes a little more of an evaluation by our exercise physiologist, so he
Okay.
knows your restrictions, limitations, your wants and needs, and what you're after. But absolutely, yeah, we have people that just come off the street because they've heard about it.
So it'd kind of be like having a personal trainer.
Exactly.
Basically.
Right.
And you have everything here that you would need, right?
Yeah, we always joke about that and say we're space hogs, but really all we need is some room and your body weight.
Yeah.
Right? But we have a lot of things for
You have
variety.
bands and balls and all sorts of
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, yeah.
Let's like show around a little bit of what it looks like in here, even though it won't be here in a few months.
Right.
And it'll be bigger and better.
Right.
But still, so do you want to just, you've got all the weights over there. Do you want to tell us? I'm not going to try to say what everything is, 'cause I don't know the terminology.
Yeah, no, he's scanning the room. Obviously, on the far wall, there's some of our endurance equipment that we may use, the bicycles and treadmills, and then some resistance equipment for strengthening, some of the leg press machines, and then we get more specific as we go. There's some machines here built just for helping people with joint restrictions, joint replacements, One for a knee. We put a lot of total knees on that. It's built just for that. One for shoulders only. Things you won't see in a gym.
Yeah.
Right. Very specific rehab type equipment. And one of the exciting things that we have coming is called a Biodex unit.
Biodex unit?
Biodex is an extremity testing unit, so that we can put you on there and test your shoulder, your knee, your ankle, whatever it is, and tell you what percent deficit you may have and where in that range of motion that deficit is.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's an impressive piece of machinery that a lot of research has formed around that. But the person we mentioned earlier, Todd Ellenbecker, did some of the original studies for Biodex back in the 80s and continues to do research with those machines today. And so we're excited we're having one of those delivered to us in the next couple weeks.
So you could have maybe an ankle that you don't even know is weak.
Right.
And you would be prone for injuries then, right?
Right.
So if you know that you have a weakness in a certain area, then you guys can say, okay, let's start doing exercises to build up.
Yeah, we'll use some of that information to say, that knee should be within 90% of your other knee before you return to sport. So we can test you and say, oh, you're only at 75%. We know that you're not able to protect yourself maybe on the field if you're a soccer player or even a hiker, right? Or more specifically, one of the sports, football, that we see the kids that are coming back from an knee injury.
Yeah.
If they have to be within a certain percentage of what we call normal, which would be the other side, before they return, then we've got some objective data to use to justify their return, right?
That makes sense. And
we can even tell in a range of motion, if you were to do a knee extension, where in that motion you may have a cartilage defect, right?
Oh,
and we can say, boy, at about the 45 degree angle is where you start to see some muscle inhibition or some loss of strength. And that equates to maybe going down a stair or climbing a stair. So we can focus or dial in on an injury that way.
That would be really good, especially for athletes, like high school, I'm guessing. I mean, scholarships and things can depend on that. So knowing that you have, everything's running properly and the strength and all of that is really important.
We'll have kids come in that are getting they're men that come in for the combine training for the NFL to use the Biodex unit. And that's one of the things we're going to carry forward from Todd's other clinic. They'll come in because it's one of the things they do at the combines for these athletes who are looking to get into the NFL.
Oh,
is
wow.
They'll test them on these machines.
So you got
we'll be able to
hardcore
do some
people
of that.
coming in here.
Well, at times.
Not just people like me, like NFL.
Most of them are just old guys like me that like to exercise. So, yeah.
My idea of old keeps getting higher and higher and higher.
Old and relative, for sure.
Someone asked if you can come here without a doctor referral, and we talked about that earlier, but I know people kind of tune in and out. Yeah. So yes, you can come here without a doctor referral.
Absolutely, and certainly to be seen or to be evaluated. But if you have insurance and you wanted to pay, I would say a quarter of the insurance plan still require a physician's prescription to pay for their therapy. The rest of them do not. So yes, you can come in without a doctor's referral, and we'll do that. We do that for everybody that comes in. We check their benefits to see what they are. You need to know your financial obligation or responsibility. We need to know that before we start therapy. So we do all of that for the patient.
That's great. And if you didn't hear, they do free consultations. So Rehab Plus, you can walk in. You want them to call ahead, which I'll give you their number in a second. But you can call, or you can walk in, and they will make an appointment for you to do a free consultation, and it's right by the Bashes off of Bell and McDowell Mountain Ranch Road. Correct. So, did I miss anything? Is there anything else we wanted to talk about that I forgot to ask you? Can you think of anything else?
Boy, nothing off the top of my head.
I know that you helped my lender, Duke Pyle. Do you want to get over here? Okay. Duke is the lender who I work with, and he is also my cameraman. He holds my phone when I do the videos. And he actually set this video up for me because he's come here himself and has had great success. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
It was a year ago.
Approximately.
What'd you say? I came
in
looking
sure
like
a
wounded dog. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think that was correct.
Yeah, I limped in, and I think my wife brought me in. But so I met Jeff a year ago after a torn labrum and a bicep reconnection, and so I just finished physical therapy, all done now, and gonna move across the carpet to the exercise part of it. But yeah, it was really 3 days a week coming in here. Everybody, not only the staff but the other patients, really become friends, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good.
So nice people.
Important connections. So not just the staff and not what Jeff's done, but the people that are here are super amazing. So it was like family. And
I don't think you would hear that about many physical therapy places. That's
No.
pretty good testimonial right there.
a lot of patients would say that, don't you think?
I think so, and that's the one thing I've enjoyed. As hectic as it can be sometimes in healthcare, you know, we enjoy it because we've made so many friends. I would have never met either one of you folks if it hadn't been for this clinic, but I've got an endless number of people that I've developed really strong friendships through physical therapy.
That's so cool. And it's so great that they're right in our hood, right in our neighborhood.
Right.
So, yeah, and it's nice to know you can just stop by. I really didn't know that. I thought you had to have a doctor's note to go to physical therapy,
Right.
or at least to get it covered by insurance. It's nice to know that you don't. So you can just come in here, and if they can't help you, they'll tell you.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
they'll let you know what they can do for you. So, anything else you want to add?
No, good people. You'll love it. Give it a try.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Can you raise your arm? Can you give it? No.
I'm good. Yeah.
It was the other one, wasn't it?
No, it was
Okay,
the
all
other
right.
So, thanks for watching us today. And if you want to know more about Rehab Plus, or you want to schedule your free consultation, the number to call, it's also on the screen on the heading, but the number to call is 480-419-3500. And if you have any other questions about the neighborhood or want to know what's going on in the market, how our property values, what's the inventory like, give us a call. Helene's team, we're the #1 team of realtors in McDowell Mountain Ranch. We would love to help you. And we give free consultations too. We'll tell you how much your house is worth. And we'll help you find another one. So, and when you're ready to move up here,
Yes.
who are you going to use?
I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm ready to move.
Like he has any choice to say anything different right now. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. My name again is Christina Espinoza. I'm with Remax Fine Properties at Helene's team, and our phone number is 480-563-3333. One last thing, if you have a business or someone you think would be interesting for our neighbors for us to interview, definitely give us a call because we're always looking for new businesses to showcase. So again, 480-563-3333. Have a great rest of your week.